Okay, this is day 42 review. Got up and left Rangeley this morning. We actually got out mostly on time and started heading south on Highway 139, which is just a really cool road. I mean, a lot of fun. Just real pretty scenery. It just runs down this valley. Um, Long way, cool rock formations and everything on both sides of the road. A lot of oil and gas production stuff here and there. Um, Still really cool scenery. Saw a sports car club heading north quickly. Lots of really cool cars. And eventually the road climbs up over the mountain and just is really cool. I mean, lots of neat views. You can look back down on the switchbacks. The trees are changing. You get to the top and you can look south towards Grand Junction. You can see forever. I mean, it's really amazing. And then you get on around the backside of the mountain and it's just a long series of switchbacks, and ran into a guy on a 1150 GS bright yellow with a matching sidecar. It was really cool. His name was Scott Heath. Can't remember where he said he lives, somewhere not far from here. Not familiar with all the little towns. He was heading home from a BMW rally, I think in Gunnison or Black Canyon, the Gunnison or something like that, he said. Anyway, really nice guy. I was getting ready to pull off into an overlook. He went by. I waited for him to go by and then pulled in behind him, and he immediately did a U-turn, came back around, did another U-turn, pulled up next to me, and we started talking. And about that time, Daniel comes running back up the mountain and to check on me. And then we get turned around and get going down the mountain. I'm following him, or he's following me. I can't remember. But we eventually come around the corner and find Sarah coming back up the mountain, I guess looking for us because we were taking too long taking pictures and goofing off. And we passed her, and she pulled off and was getting ready to turn around, and we were getting ready to go around the left-hand corner, and I just sat down, looked in the mirror, and had that feeling. Sure enough, her bike's laying in the middle of the lane. She was trying to do a left-hand turnaround, and the road sloped down and to the left, and she just tipped over and lost her balance and just let the bike go. So she was fine, but the bike was laying in the middle of the lane. Fortunately, a truck came around the corner right as it was happening, saw her, pulled over. I got Daniel back around behind the blind corners to block traffic so no one would come around and run over her. And got my bike parked, got turned around, got my bike parked, got back over to her, and we got the bike picked up, and everything was fine. She was fine, no big deal. And, the people in the truck were satisfied, everything was good, and told us to be careful, and we cruised on down the road. Eventually reached Fruita, I don't know how they say it, right there on I-70, and crossed the freeway and ran down the road that gets you onto the Colorado National Monument. No one was there checking passes today. I mean, you could just drive right in. I mean, we had our passes, but no one was checking. So we came in on the north side of the monument. A lot of switchbacks to get up on the top of it. This is another one of those things you just have to see for yourself. I mean, I took a lot of pictures, but sitting here and looking through the pictures, it's just nothing. This place is massive. The rock formations are massive. And by massive, I mean hundreds and hundreds of feet tall, thousands of feet long, single pieces of rock. Huge cliffs. A lot of 20-mile-an-hour corners, 25-mile-an-hour corners. Came around one corner, and there's a big orange sheep standing in the middle of the road. I kind of almost came to a stop and was creeping up on him. There's a truck on the other side kind of waiting on him, and he eventually decided he was going to walk off to the side of the road and chew on a bush, and the sound of my bike didn't faze him at all. I pulled up within 2 or 3 feet of him, and he was just looking at me sitting there chewing on his bush. I looked at him and got video of him and went my merry way. Took forever to get through there, though, because I took so many pictures and shot a bunch of videos, and eventually we got down, and I don't know, it was 3 o'clock maybe. kind of getting late in the afternoon, pretty warm. Once we got down to Grand Junction, it got pretty hot. When we left Rangeley this morning, it was, I don't know, 48, something like that, 47, 48. But it warmed up pretty quick. Got down in Grand Junction and just took whatever the main road is all the way through Grand Junction, all the way to the other side, and got on I-70. A lot of really cool old historic homes in Grand Junction, the Victorian architecture and stuff, just really cool. Got on I-70, headed east, which is another one of those stretches of freeway that you don't think of freeways as being fun or cool or anything like that, but it's really neat scenery, and it follows this canyon with just huge mountains on both sides and rock formations, and just really neat. And crosses the Colorado River. And then eventually we got off on, I can't remember the road number, but it's the road that goes to the Grand Mesa. It's like 3 something. I should know it. I've ridden it like 8 times, but getting old and I can't remember road numbers like I used to. Eventually becomes Highway 65 when you go up and over the Grand Mesa, which is around 10 or 11,000 feet. So we're heading up, just past the sign, saying you're entering Grand Mesa National Forest, blah, blah, blah. There's a series of switchbacks, and if you look at it on your GPS, it looks like a duck head. It's kind of funny. Right in those corners, though, the aspen trees were backlit by the sun, and they were bright yellow with, the white trunks. I had to stop. Got up past them, made a U-turn, came back, found a spot where I could actually get off the road in the ditch, down on a level spot, and park the bike and be off the road so anyone coming around that blind corner really fast wouldn't tag me or swerve into the oncoming lane or anything like that. And then ran around taking my pictures, and then these 2 little ladies pull up in their car and jump out, and they parked right behind me in the ditch. And I got to talking to them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, today's Color Sunday." And I'm like, "What's that?" "Oh, well, when the media tries to predict when the trees are going to be pretty and all that so everybody can come out and see them." It's like, oh, well, that would explain all the traffic, because there was a lot of people on this road today. I've been on the road, I don't know, 7 or 8 times, and I've never seen this much traffic. But most of the people were pretty cool. If they were going really slow, they'd let you get around them, or they'd pull off or whatever. So it wasn't too bad. But yeah, there was a couple spots in particular where the trees were just incredible. Shot a lot of video, got a lot of pictures. Daniel and Sarah got out ahead of me, and I didn't see them again until I got all the way down to the bottom of the mountain and reached whatever the little town is. I can't remember what it's called. It's got all the apple orchards and everything on it on the south side of the mountain. Hooked back up there, and then ran, I think it's Highway 133 that goes back over to US 50 at Delta, and then got on Delta and came on down to Montrose. And we're staying at the Red Arrow Inn on US 50, kind of on the east side of town. The first time I stayed here was 23 years ago. We came out here, and I don't remember who we were with. We spent like 3 or 4 days here. It was a really cool place. And came back again a year later with the Triumph Sport Touring Association, or whatever they called themselves back then. And I was one of 2 VFRs, and then there were about 40 Triumph Sprint STs and a few other odd bikes. And they were doing a rally. We'd met them in North Carolina a year before and did a rally there with them. Really fun people. A lot of them were from Houston, Dallas area. So this was a really cool hotel to stay at. I mean, they were super bike friendly. I did a couple, with the back road motorcycle tours that I used to run. I did a couple tours up here where I brought people up here, and we spent 4 or 5 days and just do loops out of Montrose in different directions. So it was a nice place. And, I guess the last time I was here was when Sarah was 7 months old. She's about to be 19. So, still only $160 a night, for a double queen room. And it's a nice room. It's a huge room. We get to park right outside our door, so we don't have to carry the luggage everywhere. There's a nice Mexican restaurant right here in the parking lot that's got pretty good food. If you really need it, there's a dealership, you know, a mile down the road, I think. So, yeah, today was an awesome day of riding. Tomorrow, the plan is to get up, head down to Ridgeway, cut over towards Naturita, and go up. I can't remember if it's 141, 149, 145. It's one of those roads. But it goes up to Gateway and then eventually comes back out over at US 50 south of Grand Junction. And Sarah's going to do the paved loop. When we get up on the north side, Daniel and I are going to split off and run. It's called Divide Road. It's a gravel road that runs along the Uncompahgre Plateau in a kind of generally north-south direction. I ran it 2018 when I was out here with Mike. I can't remember his last name. He goes by Kubota Tex Mike or something like that on the forum. And I was on my 2007 GS, and he was on his KTM 1090, I think it was. And it was just the two of us. It was a really fun, nice ride, beautiful ride. So Sarah's going to do the pavement and cruise on back to the hotel, and Daniel and I are going to hit that dirt and run that back down here and then cut over to town when we get that far south. Now I'm not sure what we're going to do after that. We're kind of thinking, you know, we got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's 5 more days of riding maybe. If we end up in Farmington Friday night, we could load the bikes up, be in the truck, leave Saturday morning, be home by sometime Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. You know, Daniel doesn't want to go home. He wants to keep riding, but because he goes home, he's got to start doing schoolwork again. Sarah's kind of, you know, she doesn't want to get home. She's having fun, but at the same time, getting home means, okay, now what's next? You know, she graduated high school. She's going to try to go to junior college, regular college, get a job. You know, same thing every 18, 19-year-old has to figure out at some point. And I got to figure out what I want to do. So we'll see. Anyway, it's been a great day. Starting to kind of wind down the trip. You know, that's always a mixed feelings kind of thing. So we'll see how it goes. So that's all for tonight. Good night.